Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare
नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय, जय प्रभुपाद की जय. Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Shamarasika Devidasi from Germantown, Maryland. Please forgive me first topic ecstatic chanting. Today's spiritual quote for holy name. Today's spiritual quote is: you can get from a rich man some of his possessions. What is more important, the possession or the processor? When you have Krishna, you have everything. The devotees, they simply want Krishna. They don't want any of the external or partial manifestations. This is explained by His Holiness Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on 4th October 1981 at Guadalajara, Mexico. So I welcome all the devotees on the early morning call today. May I know who is the call today?
Hare Krishna Mataji, and happy Ekadashi to all the devotees.
Yes.
Hare Krishna to all the devotees, and this is Surinder Pandari from Maryland. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Surinder Prabhu, Dandut Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and wishing of the happy Ekadashi to everyone.
Hare Krishna, this is Vinod Maheshwari from Maryland.
Hare Krishna, Vinod Prabhu, Dandut Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for joining and every day opening the call and chanting early morning. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji and Hare Krishna to all the devotees on this call. This is Geeta from Maryland. Hare Krishna and happy Ekadashi to everyone.
Hare Krishna, Geeta Mataji, Dandut Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for joining.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. This is Premanandini Devidasi from Ashburn.
Hare Krishna, Prem Nandini Mataji, Dandut Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for every day opening the call and chanting early morning. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Malini from Ashburn, Virginia. And Hare Krishna to all devotees. Happy Ekadashi. Hare
Happy
Krishna.
Ekadashi. Hare Krishna, Malini Mataji, Dandut Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for joining every day and beautiful chanting. Anybody else who would like to announce their name? Okay. So Mataji is here. Prema Padmini Mataji. So Hare Krishna everybody. I see Kisha Mataji and Rupini Padma Mataji. Thank you for joining. Welcome to the call. And today we are so fortunate to have Her Grace Prema Padmini Mataji from Bangalore, India. And Mataji will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagvatam 8.4.7 and onwards. So Hare Krishna Mataji, please take
Hare
over.
Krishna.
And
Thank
welcome
you.
to the call. Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayit Nashtaprayeshu Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloki Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Om Jnanatamrindasya Gyanjanashalakya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swaminati Namne Namachara Padayanatai Kripa Pradayani Gauragata Damdayana Grikram Tharni Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminati Namne Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharne Nirvisesh Sunivadi Paschat Deshtadni Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Akshat Vedgadadar Shvasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 8 Chapter 4 Text 7. In the matter of Gajendra returns to the spiritual world. Savai Purvam Abhud Raja Pandyo Dravida Sattama Indradyumna iti Kyato Vishnu Vrata Parayana. This Gajendra had formerly been a Vaishnava and the king of the country known as Pandya, which is in the province of Dravida, South India. In his previous life, he was known as Indradyumna Maharaj. So, he's, so we're seeing the happy ending to this Gajendra pastime. And now how Gajendra got this most fortunate, this, what do you call his destiny, in spite of being in an elephant body. This is even, amazing, even better than Bharat Maharaj, because Bharat Maharaj, from a deer's body, he had gone into that and he remembered, but he had to take another human birth and then practice tapasya in that body and then only go back to Godhead. But here, in the form of an elephant itself, he was able to get all full perfection. Text 8. Sa ekadhara dhana kala atmavan grihita mauna vrata ishwaram harim jata dharastapasa apluto chutam samarchayam asakula chalashrama. Indradyumna Maharaj retired from family life and went to the Malaya hills, where he had a small cottage for his ashrama. He wore matted locks on his head and always engaged in austerities. Once, while observing a vow of silence, He was fully engaged in the worship of the Lord and absorbed in the ecstasy of love of Godhead. So this is in the king of Pandya. We know South India was divided into Pandya, Chera, and Cholas. And so he, after his retirement, Vanaprastha life, he went to the Malaya hills and he had an ashram. So we see what, and he was in the same state as Bharat Maharaj. Bharata Maharaj also was in this ecstasy of love of God in Baba platform. So we can see how careful we have to be that from the platform of Bhava, which is just prior to love of God, Krishna Prem, which is 99% Krishna consciousness. And from there, you can fall into an animal life. So these examples are mentioned in the Srimad Bhagvatam so that we can be a little cautious. Text 9. Yadrichaya tatra mahayasha muni samagamachishya ganai parishrita tam vikshya tushnim akritarhanadikam rahasi upasinam rishishchukopaha. While Indradyumna Maharaj was engaged in ecstatic meditation, worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the great sage Agastya Muni arrived there, surrounded by his disciples. When the Muni saw that Maharaja Indradyumna was sitting in a secluded place, remained silent, and did not follow the etiquette of offering him reception, he was very angry. So this Agastya Rishi is also in the southern part. Malaya Hills is what is the name of the mountain in which Agastya Rishi is in the Gandhamadana mountain? Okay, anyway, Malaya Hills. And he's still there, Agastya Rishi. And so he came to his ashram surrounded by his disciples. And Indradyumna Maharaj was totally absorbed in meditation of the Lord, so he did not see him. And the Rishi became angry for not being received properly. Tasma imam shapam adad asadur ayam duratma krita buddhirad adya viprabhamanta vishatam tamishram yata gajah stabdamati sa eva. Agastya Muni then spoke this curse against the king. This king Indradyumna is not at all gentle, being low and uneducated. He has insulted a Brahmana. May he therefore enter the region of darkness and receive the dull, dumb body of an elephant. Purport. An elephant is very strong. It has a very big body and it can work very hard and eat a large quantity of food. But its intelligence is not at all commensurate with its size and strength. Thus, in spite of so much bodily strength, the elephant works as a menial servant for a human being. Agastya Muni thought it wise to curse the king to become an elephant because the powerful king did not receive Agastya Muni as one is obliged to receive a Brahmana. Yet, although Agastya Muni cursed Maharaja Indradyumna to become an elephant, the curse was indirectly a benediction. For by undergoing one life as an elephant, Indradyumna Maharaj ended the reactions for all the sins of his previous life. Immediately after the expiry of the elephant's life, he was promoted to Vaikuntha Loka to become a personal associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana in a body exactly like that of the Lord. This is called Sarupya Mukti. So many times we don't know what is happening in this material world and we calculate the good fortune or how unfortunate it is based on the present circumstances. But what is the end result of such sometimes it's very trying, and a lot of tapasya one has to endure. But the end result, if we always focusing our attention on that we want to go back to Godhead, that's the purpose of life, then we can see how actually every situation for a devotee especially is always fortunate. Because this king, King Indradyumna, actually he did not do any mistake at all. He wasn't even aware that Agastya Rishi had come. And yet Agastya Muni, that was also by chance. It's the Lord's arrangement that he got angry and cursed him that to become a elephant. So that, in spite of having all the power, like a Kshatriya, very aristocratic, huge, and full of, and great strength, but one has to work as a menial servant for a human being. So he thought he'll become humble that way to serve under someone. So, of course, he also, the curse was because he had reached high level of devotional ecstasy for the Lord, but he still had some karmas left and which had to be burnt out so that he doesn't have any remaining material desires. So this curse was like part of the Lord's plan that whatever, in an elephant's body, it's not very, what do you call, enjoyable, though the elephant thinks it's enjoying, but really speaking, it also has to do a lot of hard labor. So the karma got worn off and then he could be promoted to the Vaikuntha planet. And this is like a great yogis. They have to take so many austerities for lifetimes before they can come to perfection of concentrating the mind on the Paramatma. And after that, only when they develop a devotional attitude, they can go back to Godhead. But this is really amazing how, even from an elephant's body, you know, maybe because an elephant's body is much more evolved than a deer's body. That is why Bharata Maharaj, he could not go back from a deer's body. Yeah, as an elephant, he was able to remember, he was able to even speak those um, shlokas which he was used to reciting in his previous life, and so on. Maybe that's why he had already finished his karma, completed in his elephant body, and so he was promoted to Vaikuntha Loka. So whatever, this a Vaishnava who's very serious about his devotional service should be always aware that this lifetime which we are engaging in devotional service should be the last, very last of our, conditioned birth in this material world. And so we must only be hankering for how to finish off all the karmas and not be attached to having a very comfortable time here. Whatever happens, it is ultimately for this purpose. Because once he went back to Godhead, what does it matter? How much he suffered as an elephant? He wouldn't even remember about it. So that is Sri Shuka Uvacha Evam Saptva Gato Gastyo Bhagavan Ripasanugha Indradyumno Pirajarishir Dishtam Tad Upadharayan Apannaka Kaunjarim Yonim Atmasmriti Vinashinim Hari Archananubhavena Yad Gajatvepi Anusmriti. Sukadeva Goswami continued, My dear king, after Agastya Muni had thus cursed King Indradyumna, the Muni left that place along with his disciples. Since the king was a devotee, he accepted Agastya Muni's curse as welcome because it was the desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, although in his next life he got the body of an elephant, Because of devotional service, he remembered how to worship and offer prayers to the Lord. So this is really Krishna's benediction. This is purport. This is the unique position of a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although the king was cursed, he welcomed the curse because a devotee is always aware that nothing can happen without the desire of the Supreme Lord. Although the king was not at fault, Agastya Muni cursed him. And when this happened, the king considered it to be due to his past misdeeds. Tatte anukampan susamika samanaha. Bhagavatam 10.14.8. This is a practical example of how devotee thinks. He regards any reverses in life as blessings of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, instead of being agitated by such reverses, he continues his activities of devotional service, and Krishna takes care of him and enables him to be promoted to the spiritual world back to Godhead. If a devotee has to suffer the reactions of his past misdeeds, the Supreme Lord arranges for him to be given only a token of these reactions. And very soon, he is freed from all the reactions of material contamination. One should therefore adhere to devotional service, and the Lord Himself will very soon see to one's promotion into the spiritual world. A devotee should not be disturbed by unfortunate circumstances, but must continue his regular program depending on the Lord for everything. The word upadharayan, considering, is very significant in this verse. This word indicates that a devotee knows what is what. He understands what is happening in material conditional life. So, when King Indradyumna Maharaj, he was shocked when he got the curse. He had not done any mistake. He really was not aware of Agastya Rishi's coming. And Agastya Rishi is also a very, very exalted, elevated devotee. Why should he get angry and curse him when the king was not at fault? So, but the king, because he knew that this has happened due to the Lord's arrangement, and he accepted the curse as welcome. Because it was the desire of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Herein we see how a pure devotee accepts whatever the Lord wants, even such a horrible thing of, being born as an elephant after being elevated to such, ecstatic love for Krishna. If one is cursed for no fault of it, one at all, to be born as an elephant, just see how anybody can lose their, you know, uh, cool, and then they may feel very distressed. Why is this happening to me? Therefore, although in his next life he got the body of an elephant, because of devotional service, he remembered how to worship and offer prayers to the Lord. So one may think, especially devotees were, not yet pure, they may get disturbed sometimes. How did Krishna allow this? When he had left his kingdom, everything, he had renounced everything, and he was sitting and meditating, and for no fault at all of his, to be cursed to be an elephant. But then he had all his past life karma, though the karma is reduced greatly. Krishna say, yes? Krishna says that Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayisyami Masucha. So you surrender unto me and I will take out all the reactions. Do not fear. So as according to our surrender, Krishna takes away proportionately all the reactions. Maybe he had some little material attachments for enjoyment, and Krishna wanted that also completely to be removed. And so he allowed this curse, these reverses. And that is the here, I mean, we see tatte anukampam susamika shamana. So in that verse, when a pure devotee, he thinks that it's only because of my past misdeeds that I'm suffering. Krishna is giving me a small token of what I should be suffering. And because of that, he regards any reverses in his life as blessings of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so, instead of being agitated, he continues his activities of devotional service. And Krishna takes care of him and enables him to be promoted to the spiritual world back to Godhead. It becomes his rightful claim. If he is accepting everything, that yes, I have done something, nothing is happening on its own or, unjustly. Everything is justified and Krishna is purifying me only for purification. Krishna uses it. Without Krishna's touch, we just keep on in this material world. Those who are non-devotees, they get to suffer the reactions of their karma, and then again they are creating new karma, though that is also ultimately controlled by Krishna only. But Krishna, there are so many unlimited desires, so they have to suffer the full, whatever they did according to whatever misdeeds they've done, they have to suffer fully. But for a devotee, because he's surrendered to the Lord, a lot of material desires gets washed out. But still, there might be lingering material desires which are, just stuck like some, odor or something which has been there for a long time and that doesn't get cleansed. So, and that those attachments to be removed, Krishna gives a token punishment so that one can completely be free from all material reactions and desire to enjoying in this material world. That's the main thing. That is the chief thing. The feeling of wanting to enjoy in this material world. That is just an illusion. If we think, sometimes we think we are enjoying and we think, oh, that was very nice time. But that is not a nice time or bad time, because actually it is a bad time, because when you are forgetful of your original position as a servant of Krishna and you think not serving Krishna but to enjoy with your senses is actually happiness. So that is not a very good time. It is just that if you're engaged in devotional service very nicely without too many obstacles and then you're continuing to do that, that is very fortunate. But sometimes we need to have these few obstacles or pinpricks also. Krishna has his own method of purifying us because he is thinking of our eternal benefit, eternal future. And he thinks, so what does it matter? A small time on this, conditional, this thing is a few years of suffering. And then eternally they'll be liberated. That's why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that I know as the Supreme Lord the past, present, and future. And I also know all the living entities. But me, no one knows. So this is why we get disturbed. But Krishna, he's taking care of his devotee. He knows past, what the devotee has done in the past, what is going to be his future. And so the present also, he knows everything. What is happening now is only a kind of stepping stone for his great future. So we have to trust the Lord, just like Gajendra or King Indradyumna did. Evam vimokshya gaja yutapam abjana bas tena piparshada gatim ghamitena yukta gandharva siddha vibudher upagiyamana karmadbhutam swabhavanam gurudhasanoghat. Upon delivering the king of the elephants from the clutches of the crocodile and from material existence, which resembles a crocodile, the Lord awarded him the status of Sarupya Mukti. In the presence of the Gandharvas, the Siddhas, and other demigods who were praising the Lord for his wonderful transcendental activities, the Lord, sitting on the back of his carrier Garuda, returned to his all wonderful abode and took Gajendra with him. Purport. In this verse, the word vimoksha is significant. For a devotee, moksha or mukti, salvation means getting the position of the Lord associate. The impersonalists are satisfied to get the liberation of merging in the Brahman effulgence. But for a devotee, mukti, liberation means not to merge in the effulgence of the Lord, but to be directly promoted to the Vaikuntha planets and to become an associate of the Lord. In this regard, there is a relevant verse in Srimad Bhagvatam 10.14.8. Tattenukampam samikshamano bunjana evatma kritam vipakam hridvag vapurbhir vidadhan namaste jiveta yo mukti pade sadaya bak. One who seeks your compassion, tatte anukampam, he is seeking for his compassion and thus tolerates all kinds of adverse conditions due to the karma of his past deeds, who engages always in your devotional service with mind, words, and body, and who always offers obeisances unto you, is certainly a bona fide candidate for liberation. So that's what he is always seeking compassion from the Lord, anukampam. Susamikshamanu Bhunjana Evatma Kritam Vipakam. Um, so he is enduring, tolerates all kinds of adverse reactions, conditions due to the karma of his past deeds, and who's always engaged in the devotional service with his mind, body, and words, and who always offers obeisances unto you. Itvak Vapurbir Vidadam Namaste, offering all the time obeisances unto you. Jiveta yo mukti padesa dayabak. And he can become is certainly a bona fide king candidate. Dayabak for liberation. Jiveta yo mukti pade sa dayabak. Dayabak means this daya. Daya is a word used for um, you know um, belonging to a particular family lineage. Dayadis, they say, belonging to the same family lineage. So just like we inherit certain things because of, of, of of the family, whatever, so many things of the family, because we belong to it, it becomes our rightful claim to inherit. In the same way, if we continue doing all these things, it's a rightful claim to go back to Godhead. Jiveta yo mukti padesa dayabak. So it's certainly a bona fide candidate for liberation. A devotee who tolerates everything in this material world and patiently executes his devotional service can become mukti padesa dayabak, a bona fide candidate for liberation. The word dayabak refers to a hereditary right to the Lord's mercy. A devotee must simply engage in devotional service, not caring about material situations. Then he automatically becomes a rightful candidate for promotion to Vaikuntha Loka. The devotee who renders unalloyed service to the Lord gets the right to be promoted to Vaikuntha Loka, just as the son inherits the property of his father, Dayabak, like that. It becomes his right. to go back to Godhead. That is the property of his Father, and he is entitled to it because he deserves it. So we can understand going back to Godhead, how very, it is most covetous thing. That is what we want, but we have to qualify to go there. And it's not easy to completely give up this fruitive mentality, attachment to this material world, and to adopt the mood of the spiritual world, where the happiness is coming not from enjoying our own senses, the happiness of spiritual senses, of giving pleasure to the Lord. That is 180 degrees opposite of what we are in this conditional life. And that's why Krishna makes sure, because once you go there, we cannot fumble. There is no point of, nobody can come down once you go to Vaikunta. But we have to be qualified to be there. After going there, if we think, oh, I wish I could also enjoy like Narayana and all these kind of thoughts, should not come. And so Krishna makes sure that the last bit of any such desire for personal aggrandizement, personal sense gratification, has to completely leave the soul. Because there, Krishna is the king, and everyone else has got no ego except the real ego identity of being a loving servitor of the Lord. So we have to qualify for that. When a devotee gets liberation, he becomes free from material contamination and engages as a servant of the Lord. This is explained in Srimad Bhagvatam 2.10.6. Muktir hitan yata rupam swarupena vyavastiti. The word swarupa refers to sarupya mukti, going back home, back to Godhead, and remaining the Lord's eternal associate, having regained a spiritual body exactly resembling that of the Lord, with 4 hands holding the Shankha, Chakra, Gada, and Padma. The difference between the mukti of the impersonalist and that of the devotee is that the devotee is immediately appointed an eternal servant of the Lord, whereas the impersonalist, although merging in the effulgence of the Brahmajyoti, is still insecure and therefore generally falls again to this material world. Why does he do that? Because he's not engaged, he is not situated in his original position as a servant of the Lord. That is the one which really keeps us completely satisfied, and which helps us to realize our original position. And so then we become qualified. Even, this is just one of the liberations. There is higher than Vaikuntha Loka or other, Ayodhya and Dwarka and Mathura and finally Vrindavan Dham. More and more this, um, consciousness gets even finer and finer and finer, because where one has absolutely no thoughts about oneself. Here, at least, you have the Swarupena Vyavasthiti. You want a Sarupya. It will be nice if I also have 4 arms and I have the same form as the Lord. But in the Goloka Vrindavana, they have no such thoughts at all. Whatever I am, wherever I am, I'm not even saying I should go back to Godhead. I want to be a servant of Krishna. So the impersonalist, so from the very beginning, he's engaged in being a servant of Krishna. Merging, but in the Brahmajyoti, there is no service to the Lord, there's no connection, relationship with the Lord. And so after some time, they feel bored. Impersonalism, that is based on false ego. In this material world also, we see those who are very puffed up and have a lot of false ego. They're actually very lonely people, and they feel very, somebody may work very hard and get a high position and so on. But because of having this lauding tendency, He doesn't have sweet, close relationships. He's always distrustful of others and how anybody is disrespecting him or not being, you know, he's insecure about his position. And so he is not happy at all. In the same way, even, okay, this is within the material world, but outside, you may not have exactly all these negativities. You may not have negative sentiments. In the Brahmajyoti, you may understand fully that I'm a soul, but there is no relationship. For to have relationships with people, if we have someone who's got false ego, will not have relationships. It's impossible. And similarly, in the Brahmajyoti also, there are no relationships at all, but just this false sense that I'm eternal. I'm not this material body. So there is no suffering which is coming due to ignorance of our spiritual position and thinking I'm this material body. That much ignorance has been removed, but because of not having that sweet mellows of surrender to the Lord, of being an eternal servant of Him, that is what gives you the relationship with the Lord and as well as with all the devotees. And that is our eternal, eternal position. And so that is where we feel completely secure. But in the Brahmajyoti, who is there, who is merged into the effulgence, is still insecure and therefore generally falls again to this material world. Aruhya krichrena param padam tataha patanti ado anadrita yusmad angrayaha. So padam padam tataha param aruhya krichrena. He goes up and again patanti ado. He comes down. This is what a material life is like that. Sometimes you go up, sometimes you come down because you don't have a steady position of being a servant of Krishna. Although the impersonalist rises to the Brahman effulgence and enters into that effulgence, he has no engagement in the service of the Lord, and therefore he is again attracted to the materialistic philanthropic activities. That is still mundane and material. It's nothing to do with service to God. You can do philanthropy also. I mean, it's not that we should stop being philanthropical if we become a devotee, but our philanthropy will be connected with the Lord. Nothing will be mundane or thinking only of the temporary, satisfaction or temporary benedictions. So thus he comes. He has no engagement in the service of, and therefore he's again attracted to materialistic philanthropic activities. Thus, he comes down to open hospitals and educational institutions, feed poor men, and perform similar material activities, which the impersonalist thinks are more precious than serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ultimately, what is really beneficial to the people is when we connect them to the Supreme Lord, when we make them also eligible to go back to Godhead. That is the greatest benefit. Temporary material benefits are not going to temporarily, I mean, it doesn't, we are depriving them of their eternal relationship with Krishna. I mean, the remembrance of it by which they can be completely liberated eventually. So that's why a devotee, all his activities are thinking this in mind. Let me benefit everyone so that the ultimate benefit also they should get. The impersonalists, they because they don't have idea of what the Lord, when they come to the material world to have some relationship, some work they do all this mundane work, but they are not connected with the Supreme Lord. This is where we have to uh, clearly discriminate and understand. An impersonalist may be doing a lot of seva in the sense that he may have opened up so many charitable organizations. He may be giving a lot of annadan and as they might like hospitals. They've started ashramas and so on. But the difference is that they are not serving to satisfy the Lord. Even Vaishnava institutions or temples, they also do social service for the people, but they always connect them to the Supreme Lord. They give them the eternal knowledge also, but they don't have any, impersonalists don't have knowledge about that. So they simply do mundane activities, which the impersonalist thinks are more precious than serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is their undoing. Anadrita yusmat angrayaha. The impersonalists do not think that the service of the Lord is more valuable than serving the poor man or starting a school or hospital. Although they say Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, Brahman is real and the material world is false, they are nonetheless very eager to serve the false material world and neglect the service of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead. So ultimately, even after so much perfection, they are purified in terms of this material life. They're not, they're able, self-controlled. They are in the mode of goodness. They're not attached to gross sense gratification. They've renounced, I mean, they're not attached to making lots of money or enjoying with their senses. All that they've overcome. So they are pure in that sense. But what is the use? They don't have the desire to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so that is why, after telling that this material world is nitya or false, but because they didn't find anything nice in Brahmajyoti, they found it very boring. They again came to the material world to taste some juice of service, of relationship. It's a natural, but our original state of affairs is to render service to the Lord. That is only nectarian. The devotee is also, devotee is always waiting, eager to render some service to the Lord, and the Lord is also looking for occasions how to serve his devotees. So the Lord also, that sweetness of relationship develops only when there is a service mood. What is that service mood? Means that I want to make you happy, to do something to make you happy. But you see how what the materialistic attitude is. I'm not even interested whether you're happy or not. I want to be happy. If I'm happy, I think that's it. I'm very happy. And that is based on sense gratification. And and the highest of this, mood of service exists in Brajapumi. That's why Krishna cannot leave Vrindavanam for a moment, the original Krishna, because the relationship with the Vrajavasis is so very intimate. The Lord forgets his position as a God, the maintainer of everyone, the one who is respected by everyone, who's worshipped, and instead is acting like an ordinary person who's sharing his own life, everything in his life with all the Vrajavasis, who don't even think of him as God. They think that he is one of them and he shares everything with them, in his mind, his body, his senses, all his activities, everything is with them. There is no, separation. They're so close, and there is no formality at all. This is the amazing. Everybody is very surprised. What is this? I mean, there's no trace of Krishna. No longer is he keeping his, distance. That I'm God, like in Vaikuntha. The Lord is very majestic, and he's like a king. And people have to stay a little far away, and you can come and glorify him and express all your love and all that. But there is a distance, and everybody thinks I'm a servant. I should not transgress my position. But in Vrindavan, it is not like that. Krishna, I mean, the way they talk to Krishna also, they addressed him as you and me. And I mean, they think of him as their own friend, or whatever, lover or child. And Krishna shares all his innermost thoughts with them. I want to do this. I feel like this. Everything. So there is no kind of deception or hypocrisy or a distance. Sweet mellows only of love. They all are thinking only about pleasing Krishna. And the gopis are always wanting Radha and Krishna to be together. That is all. Even sometimes they chastise Krishna, or sometimes they tell Radharani, do like this, like that. We may think that they're trying to control her, but out of excessive love for her happiness, they exist only for that. Can we even imagine that level of selfless love, where one has no thought of oneself at all, only about the love of, happiness of Radha and Krishna? So that level of purity is what our this Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Parampara is trying to give us, and Prabhupada's purpose is trying to elevate us from this attachment to this material world with our senses, and from here to be transferred. We shouldn't think going back to Godhead too, especially Goloka Vrindavana cheaply. Goloka Vrindavana is after a final purification. Going to Vaikunta, even if you're in Vaidhi Bhakti, you can go there. Vaidhi Bhakti means you're following rules and regulations perfectly, but you don't have a spontaneous attraction and this kind of, complete surrender like the Vrajavasis. It is not there, but you are you're performing all your sadhana properly, then you can go to Vaikunta. But if you are not, you're actually a person of the Goloka Vrindavana, then after going there also, we'll have further purification where we are thinking of the Lord. We're not satisfied. I'm not coming close to Krishna. I want to be very intimate with him. We'll not be satisfied in Vaikuntha also. From there, then we can get further purified and go to higher and higher realms and finally go to Goloka Vrindavana, which is the topmost. Krishna cannot leave that place, and is all even when he comes in the spiritual world, Krishna expands himself and he is there simultaneously in Vrindavan also, in Dwaraka also, in Mathura also. But when he comes to the earthly planet, Krishna, when he goes to Mathura, then he doesn't exhibit himself in Vrindavan, though in an in invisible way he is always there in Vrindavan, but in the visible way he is not there in the material. When he comes to the material world, he is only one person. When he goes to Dwaraka, he is not in Mathura or Vrindavan. When he was in Vrindavan, he is not there in Dwaraka or Mathura. So anyway, coming to Vrindavan Dham is the topmost perfection. And so we know, Krishna knows how much purification we require. There is a lot of, this dirty desires for selfish, selfish sense gratification is still very much there, like dirty water. Dirty water has to be purified and become pure Ganges water. And that's why it says that just like the muddy waters, when they are, when the rains come in autumn, the rain, because a lot of pure water comes automatically, all the dust settles on the bottom and the water becomes very pure on the top. So similarly, we keep on adding more and more devotional service. Then all these dirty things of, thinking ourselves separate from Krishna, that we have some interest separate from him, some enjoyment separate from him, that has to go away. And so this Srimad Bhagavatam, the history is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. It is Amala Puranam. It's only talking about our going back to Godhead. If you see the other Puranas, there is a mixed bhakti mentioned there. Like somebody who did how he did bhakti and then he got whatever he wanted and he lived happily in this material world. Those sort of things, a little bit mixed with karma kand. But Bhagavatam was written after Vyasadev was feeling very incomplete and insecure and dissatisfied with whatever he had written so far. All the Vedas and the Upanishads and the Puranas. He had written all the other Puranas. And still he was dissatisfied. And he was thinking, what is this? I have described all religious things, everything about people's advancement and spiritual life. Still, why am I not satisfied? Only then, that is when Narad Muni, his guru, came and told him, how can you be happy if you describe to people, if they are identifying themselves with their body or with their mind, jnana and karma, yoga, ashtanga yoga, all these things, when there's still some identification with the body, how can anyone be happy? Or even mixed bhakti, mishra bhakti, there is some identification with the body, and sense enjoyment is also included in that. They do devotional service also, and there is this. So, sense enjoyment. So, if you have promoted all these sort of things, how can it satisfy anyone? And that's why it's not satisfying you also. And he told him to write Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing but our eternal relationship with the Lord, without all these other additions and mixtures of our mental desires, uh, physical desires, being dominating in this material world, up and down the Swargaloka, and then coming down to earth and going to different planets and so on. All these things are mentioned. We are done with, and a soul wants perfect satisfaction. Then he has to come to the platform of understanding his sambandha. What's my relationship with the Lord? And when he understands that I am not the enjoyer, I went about thinking I'm the big enjoyer, I'm the big dominator, I was the center of the universe, everything revolved around me. And I was in a totally hallucinatory world of my own, right? That's what we realize when we come to devotional service. I went around thinking I'm the center of everything, I'm enjoyer of everything. But here is the truth is something else. Krishna is the center of everything, and I'm supposed to render service the way he wants to satisfy him. Center is him, and I'm only his servant. That is when the awakening happens. It's a real shake up. Pure devotional service, we are really shaken up in our consciousness. Whatever you were running around thinking, all that so called enjoyment was all false, illusory, because you're not that at all. And your nature is not to be a predominator, a controller, a enjoyer independently of Krishna. But enjoyment is there in spiritual life, but as a servant of Krishna. And the devotees in Vrindavan, they are not even interested in all the happiness, ananda, which is coming. If it obstructs their service to the Lord, they want so much selfless service of satisfying Krishna, and that gives them highest happiness, to become one with the Lord, not by merging into Him, but to have no separate interest. See how close a person, when do people become close? They become close when their interests are the same. When both are going in the same direction, they have the same interest, they have the same mentality and selfless love, then they're very close. That is closeness. Physical closeness is not everything. Prabhupada used to say, when mosquito is sitting on my lap, mosquito's consciousness is completely in another, totally is thinking I'm a mosquito and wherever I'm sitting, that place is mine, and that kind of consciousness. So what physical closeness is nothing. But if you have the same interests, that is possible only with the Lord, and all devotees, when they are also surrendered to the Lord in that way, then they can have this oneness. There is oneness because everybody is working towards the pleasure or the happiness of the Lord. So this is only by His mercy we can be elevated to that topmost platform. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says it happens by getting higher taste. By then we become this thing. See, one maybe it's a what is that word? Rasu, yes, param drishtva nivartat. No, one may be forcibly stopped. And we have the verse.
Krishna Mataji,
Yes.
you're not audible.
Just a minute.
Oh.
No, I'm trying to read out that verse. One who's situated in a see, when we are forcibly stopping our senses, we may stop ourselves, but then the taste for that remains. But how will we lose the taste for inferior things? By tasting a superior thing. Then we'll automatically drop it. Right? Or the Sanskrit verse, just. Okay, rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. That was what. But rasavarjam, so we give up this lower taste by experiencing a higher taste. Then we can be situated in that platform. So that's why we need to fill our mind, our consciousness with a higher taste. Then it's possible to live in that consciousness. Otherwise, in the material world, especially in Kali Yuga, when we are constantly bombarded with so opposite consciousness, all the time there is this temptation to, when we are with the other people, we also feel, oh, they're all enjoying themselves. But actually, so the taste will be there. Oh, I too used to enjoy like that. The taste will be there. But if we get a higher taste, oh, it's so wonderful to render service to the Lord, to do so many activities for the pleasure of the Lord, for the pleasure of Guru, for the pleasure of Vaishnavas, and for uplifting other people in Krishna consciousness by preaching. When we get that higher taste, then we can be established in Krishna consciousness without any fear of fall down. I'm stopping now. Are there any comments or questions?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Madanat Pranam to you and
Then
all the devotees. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Mataji, wonderful class explaining, just my realization came to this point is that, this Gajendra prayers is actually teaching us, we mentioned that animals, some people are like non-vegetarian, they eat animals. And this is such an insight because how this cycle of reincarnation is going on. And in that, like how even Bharat Maharaj we heard, it's like he became an animal and then he became, Jad Bharat, all those, that cycle. And similarly here, and how everything is in control by the Lord, like that, right? So one question can come here is like, if like Lord is in control and Gajendra was a devotee before, like Indradhumna, like you just read about, how he was cursed. So basically, you gave the answer. You said that purification, maybe little purification was needed, right? But then, if a person is a devotee, shouldn't Krishna have saved him, from becoming an elephant? And what purification will he get being an elephant? And uh, is the purification of being an animal in the fact that he is still a devotee there and remembering, or how will he get? Because I'm just correlating one thing, like Srila Prabhupada said, that if a dog is sitting in a car, in a lecture, he will not be able to benefit. He will not be able to understand. The only way he can benefit is if you give him prasadam. I don't know, just correct me, Mataji, if I'm wrong. Prabhupada said this in some of his lectures. So in that case here, how is it possible that how is he purifying in an animal body? And similarly, this is also connected to Bharat Maharaj, how he became a deer. But then the thing is that that was a total different scenario, because he became attached to deer, and in Bhagavad Gita it says that whatever you are thinking in the last moment, that you become. So then he became a deer. But in this case, like when you mentioned about purification, a little bit purification was left. How that purification can be fulfilled according to Lord, or according to the Srimad Bhagvatam, with an animal body?
See, what is exactly the meaning of purification? Purification means to get out of that enjoying mood and to be free from all traces of being an enjoyer in this material world. That is purification. So, as a king, he would have had so much of karma, no, that he was a king. So, he would have had a lot of sense gratification, that I am a king and I've got so many queens, and I mean, a queen and maybe more queens and a lot of mistresses and so many things, as I'm an enjoyer. So, leaving all that, he became a devotee. But that is what we have to understand. But because we've been here in this material world for so long, this desire for sense gratification, lauding it, is very, very strong in us. And that is why he wanted him, uh, maybe he still had a desire after he became surrendered. He became as a vanaprastha to the forest all alone. He was just meditating on the Lord, but the Lord must have detected some more enjoying tendencies in him. And so, in the elephant body, also, what happened? He was like a king, right? And he had many she elephants, and he went. So, that karma was there of being an enjoyer, but it's only for a short time, right? Elephant body, the lifespan is not so many years. So, he had that illusory, whether you're in an animal body or a human body, the same feeling of being an enjoyer, of being a controller, of being a leader of a pack of whatever human beings or animals. It's the same tendency of separately, of having a separate identity from Krishna. It is there, very much there. That is the impurity in our heart. That impurity of trying to enjoy this material world separately from Krishna. So Krishna wants to burn out all such desires. And so in the elephant body, he finished off, okay, what of enjoyment. And then he gave him so much suffering. And in the crocodile's, this thing, when he was caught by the crocodile. And at that time, he could intensely pray to the Lord. He remembered Krishna gave him that memory. And in that time, by the time his all these deep desires for having a big family and all these she elephants, because he thought that initially he thought that they were all his big family there, waiting to support him. They were all trying to pull him out of the water. So he was very complacent. No, he was enjoying himself. He thought, I'm the lord of the elephants. I'm in my pack, and they're all there to support me and help me. That is the impurity. Some little attachment to still think that I have some identity separate from Krishna. That is only our impurity. Rather than be only servant, we want an other identity of ourselves as being separate from Krishna and having something separate identity and relationships of our own, which is not connected with Krishna. That impurity is very, very, very deep rooted as long as we are there in the material world. That impurity, impure way of thinking, of not being completely surrendered to Krishna. So that is what he wanted to burn out. And as an elephant, also, the same thing he went through, but it was for a much shorter time. And that's it. And then he had a tough time with the crocodile, and he understood that nobody can save you. None of his family members, they tried to save him, but they could not. Nobody. He was all alone. He was supposed to be a big king of the elephants. And that is when he was humbled and he was forced to take shelter of Krishna. So that means that karma was there, this desire to separately enjoy. That is what had to be done. And so that brief spell-less, and in an elephant body, he went through all that. It's the same, whether you're in a king's body or an elephant's body, it is the same desire to have a separate identity of your own and think of yourself as an enjoyer and not thinking of doing rendering service and giving pleasure to Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Is that okay?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mataji. And that propensity, that means that is common in animal and in human beings. If a human being also, say, is in Krishna consciousness, and then they want to, have like propensity to enjoy, so then both of them will kind of could be cursed, could be taking another birth, because they are like deviated. So in that, there is no differentiation whether one is an animal or a human being. Once they're deviated, they are the same level. Is that right? Understand?
No, animal. See, he is not an ordinary elephant. No, he is a special elephant, devotee elephant.
Okay.
So in this case, Krishna gave him that special facility. Not that all elephants can go back to Godhead. No, only Indradyumna Maharaj, he got the special facility that even from an elephant's body, he could go back to Godhead. Because he was already advanced. Not that all elephants, okay, we'll go and preach to elephants so that they can also go back to Godhead. No, impossible. They
Yeah.
cannot.
Yes, Mataji. And also, like, he was advanced in the sense that we can correlate to this another fact which we hear in Krishna consciousness, that says that whatever bhakti you have done, you start from there. It doesn't like get eliminated, right?
Yes.
So that way, I mean, Anjal Maharaj was a devotee, and then, suddenly whatever the curse came, and then he continued. I mean, his soul was still being purified in the Indradumni Maharaj body. But when the soul went to the animal body, then, okay. So that way. So,
Then also purification took place. That is not true for other animals. Some evolution is happening.
Yeah.
But here, rapid evolution was happening for the elephant.
Even if he
Devotee
went
elephant.
to animal body, still Krishna was there, and he was keeping himself as like he was Krishna conscious as an animal also, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So actually, these verses emphasize the importance of following this Krishna conscious movement seriously, because that way, you doesn't matter which body we get. Everybody, you said our main goal should be to go back to Godhead, but suppose we don't, we have material propensities. So we'll come back, but then at least, whatever we are doing now, which is only in our hand, that too present, if we do nicely, then there are chances that, we will still be connected to Krishna. Is that the right
Yes,
understanding?
definitely.
Yeah.
You
Thank you,
get a
Mataji.
very good next birth to make further progress. That is their facility.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much for the class. And I just got this insight from your understanding, because, they say like just reading Bhagavatam on your own is not going to help. When devotees speak and they share the realizations, then our mind opens up to understanding more deeper aspect of the importance of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is Geeta. Thank you so much for this wonderful class. So much clarity one gets, even though so many things we know, but it's we don't know so many things that you really highlighted today. My question, Mataji, is that these rishis, like Rishi Durvasa, Agastya, and all, I mean, they are so elevated in many ways, and yet they have so much ego and anger when they give all these curses. That doesn't gel with the fact that they're rishis. This is uh, I really don't understand, and especially when they come out of penance and then they are giving all these shraps and all. How would you explain that, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
See, these rishis, when they give sharp, it always ends up for the well-being, for the good of that person only. Even if they had been angry in an unjust way, but because they are very elevated rishis and they are under the control of Krishna. Now Krishna uses them. For example, Durvas Muni, he gets immediate, very, very angry fast. Everybody is afraid of him. But whatever he does, ultimately it's for the good only. Like that. And even Agastya Rishi, it was good, isn't it? For him, Agastya, Krishna uses them. And they are rishis, they are surrendered to the Lord, though not 100%. So he uses these curses and all everywhere. Krishna uses. See, once you're in the spiritual energy, you can be used for cursing other people, because just for Leela also sometimes. Like you see how Sri Dama and Radharani cursed each other, and they both came to the material world. Sri Dama became that Shankachuda, and Radharani came to the material world, and then he said, may you be separated from Krishna for 100 years. They both cried after cursing. They went to Krishna, oh, what to do? Krishna said, doesn't matter, you go, because it is his plan. He wanted them there for a particular purpose, and all these curses and all, Krishna uses,
Yes.
different people to say certain things. So that is what.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, that's for the Leela. And actually, you're right that after the curse, it's for their betterment. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam. Thank you so much for this class. As every time we heard you after a long time. And it's so nice class, Mataji. And as I remember one Gita Mataji's answer, the Damodar Lila is also the similar, like Narad Muni cursed the Nanda Kuber and Manigrava, but that was for their betterment. So they got chance to stay at Krishna's home so many years, and then they got liberated by Krishna. So nobody, like very few people can get this benediction, right? So that curses are always, always good.
In the case of Narada Muni, he was not angry for himself. Of course, he felt insult. They did not behave properly. When you see a devotee, you're supposed to cover yourself, or at least feel ashamed that I should not be naked and all that. But he was very compassionate, and he thought, imagine they are, Kubera's sons, and they have come down to such low levels, and he wanted to elevate them. So he is doing it in a different mood of actually wanting to benefit. And the rishis are slightly not as elevated as Narada Muni, but still they are rishis and they are surrendered. So Krishna uses them also. Their motivation may not be as completely pure as Narada Muni, but still whatever they do will be for the good only. Ultimately, Krishna will utilize it like that.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
Yes, Mataji, I'm glad that Geeta Mataji brought up this question, because Like, and Mataji also mentioned, Shama Rasika Mataji, like, for example, that curse was so good because they became tree in the angan of Krishna. And they were seeing all, it was like like Naraji is you can't compare the Naraji, am I right, Mataji? Naraji cannot be compared to the rishis who curse, because the rishi gave a animal body and was like probably envious, and he was seeing that, oh, like, even for example, if you remember the curse where who was that Maharaj who was he had to ultimately go to Vishnu, and then Vishnu said, no, go to my devotee only, Amrish Maharaj.
Ambarish Maharaj.
Amrish. So Amrish, I
Durvat
mean,
Muni.
yeah, that was just like, I mean, because it is teaching us that if you offend a devotee, then please be humble and go to that devotee. I mean, and do not go and pray to Krishna and think that it's going to be solved. No, you have to go to the devotee, because devotees are very dear to Krishna. But yeah, like in this case, Naradji is like very, very special, and so his curse was much higher level. Can we put it like that, or?
Yeah, he was genuinely trying to benefit, and no, because Manigriva and Alukura, they surrendered to him and begged forgiveness, and they said that please, don't curse us. So he made it. He gave that the positive aspect that you will become trees in Krishna's backyard, so that you'll be ultimately saved.
Yes, but
Yeah, generally.
one thing common is that in both the curses, whether it's Rishi or Narad Muni, Krishna is aware of it, and he takes care of. He's making sure that even the other Rishi's curse is taken care of, because Lord was protecting him as an elephant, and also that, like, Lord is protecting basically whoever's giving the curse.
The difference is, in the Rishi's case, it is Krishna who is letting it happen through the Rishis. In Narada Muni's case, it's his own compassion.
Okay.
Because the pure devotee is not different from Krishna. He thinks in the same way as Krishna. So he wanted so in this case, Narad Muni, he himself, he decided like that they should be benedicted. But in the other cases, it is Krishna who is using those rishis to curse, but it is coming from Krishna. He is using them as a tool only. They don't have an idea about how it's going to benefit.
Yes.
Okay.
Except Mataji, I have one. I was remembering one. I forget the name. That one rishi gave the curse, but then he was scolded by Lord Krishna because he gave the curse to that king who broke the fast, and then it was meant to be reversed. He goes angry with him that how can you scold my devotee, right?
Which one is that?
She's talking about Amrish Maharaj.
Yeah, Amrish.
Amrish Maharaj.
In that case, the rishi was scolded, right?
Yeah, I mean, the rishi was saved actually, because he took the directions of Lord Vishnu, Krishna, and then came back to Amrish Maharaj for apologies.
Yeah.
So that way he was like, saved. So that curse, whatever was like kind of nullified. That is just
and it's like a education for him as well as for us.
Yes, Mataji, you're right.
Because we need a case now, then we can always quote. Like in legal, this thing also, you have something, reference, previous something, then it's easy.
Yes, Mataji.
We don't have to prove anything with our own arguments.
So, Mataji, in today's life, if we see somebody curses us for some wrong thing we do, will that curse be valid, or what it is? I mean, how do we take all these curses of the past where, related to Naradji or the other one or this one? How does it relate to us in today's life? If suppose some devotee only curses or something, then how do we understand that?
Then we have to beg forgiveness and make sure that they remove that. We should not. Devotees normally don't curse. You should not curse. If you're a devotee, devotees don't normally just keep cursing like that. You can get angry and all that, but then to curse is a horrible thing.
Yeah, and
When we know,
they are not elevated if they curse, Mataji. I mean, that
yes,
was Lord's Leela, like you said. But if the devotee curses, that means they have anger.
And they are losing their spiritual strength. Whatever they're using, some potency to curse someone, they're losing that much strength. So we should not misuse that strength. We get angry, all the more we should make sure, oh my God, let my anger not be, let me overcome this anger. Otherwise, let me not curse. That's what Dhruva Maharaj's mother told Dhruva. Don't wish bad for your stepmother, because whatever you wish bad for others will come to you only. So that fear must be there. If I'm cursing others, that same thing might come to me also.
Yes, Mataji,
So,
you're absolutely right. And and we are human, like, I don't know about others, but myself, so many times if I think something, like I'm upset about something or something, then I say, Mata Radharani, please help me not to think like that. But otherwise, but we are human, what to do, Mataji? What do you think we should do? I don't know.
Definitely. In the what?
Yeah, I don't know what better can we do. Otherwise, it can become a karma only. Thoughts are also karma.
Yeah, when it comes, it comes. But then you should take shelter of Krishna and use all this reasoning and remember that how it's not good for others also, for us also. Because if you curse someone, then you feel bad in your heart, and then we feel it's like it takes away some of our spiritual energy. So we should be very careful. We should only use our whatever spiritual strength we get to bless others. And even if somebody has done some mistake, Krishna will take care of them. We leave it, because we have to be always aware. I want to go back to God. I don't want to mess up here and then get attached and all these karmas.
Yeah.
I don't
So,
want to be
so
stuck up.
Mataji, it's getting very severe, then it's good to move away, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. Easier said than done. Some relationships one cannot. And maybe the problem is with us only, and we are saying they are wrong. Sometimes
No,
it's
that's
the
also
other.
tolerating, na? It is
Yeah,
because of my karma. So,
correct.
and this is only a temporary time. And then
Yes.
Krishna is purifying me so that I can go back to Godhead. And all
Yes,
this will
Mataji.
seem like, insignificant once we are out of this. And that's why it says, when a devotee is always praying for the Tatya Anukampam, for the Anukampa, or the compassion for the Lord, and continues suffering, thinking that it's because of my karma, then it becomes his right and continues his devotional service. Then he will inherit the kingdom of God.
Yes, Mataji. I read somewhere, Mataji, that instead of getting angry, we should say, what is the learning for us here? I know, but it's easier said than done. But yes, this is in this whole thing. I'm supposed to learn something rather than get angry. But yes, it's easier said than done. But I just read it the other day, and I thought it is a very good quote. Thank you,
Yes,
Mataji.
everything is happening because of a purpose, especially in a devotee's life. Especially, I mean, even for others, but especially in a devotee's life, Krishna is personally involved, and everything that's happening is like either a test for us or to strengthen us. So we have to see it like that. Then we'll not be disturbed and we'll keep learning.
Thank you,
It is not
Mataji.
easy. Yeah, and we should understand going back to God, it is not easy. You have to become so purified, no? So, yes, but by the mercy of the Lord, He will give us the strength also. And that's why we should also voluntarily get purified, not wait for something to descend on us. This anartha nivritti, no? That is the stage. We have to go through that by pulling out the weeds from our heart and not allowing it to flourish, or, it's tough, but we have to struggle with it. And then we come to the stage of Nishta. So we ourselves will struggle and pray to the Lord, and the Lord may give a little pinpricks to help us so that we become detached.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes, Shamrasika Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. If nobody has any question or comment, we can end up the call here. Vancha kalpataruvascha kripasindhu vaivacha danam
Pravnibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha.
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय दास ठाकुर की जय श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्री की जय हरगेश प्रेमानंदिनी माता प्रेम पद्मिनी माता जी की जय
जय
थैंक यू सो मच
Jai.
हरे कृष्णा
हरे
Thank you,
कृष्णा
Mataji. Hare
थैंक यू
Krishna.
माता जी हरे कृष्णा
Was an excellent class.
हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna.
हरि बोल हरे कृष्णा
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
हरि बोल